Think of a street in which no curbs, no sidewalks, no bike lanes, and no divide between different modes of transportation existed. Pedestrians, bicyclists, and motor vehicles share the street with no restrictions. What I'm describing is a shared street, which is a roadway designed for slow travel speeds where pedestrians, cyclists, and motorists share the right-of-way on the same layer of roadway. Many European cities have utilized this shared street design, which has been implemented to decrease traffic congestion and promote pedestrian-centric infrastructure. With American cities growing in population, more cars end up on the roads, which means roads are becoming less safe each year, pollution continues to increase, and traffic congestion keeps getting worse. America cannot fix these issues by enlarging our roadways and promoting the usage of cars. America needs a modal shift, and shared streets are the answer to our problem. But why, you might ask? Well, let's talk about the benefits of shared streets. First off, shared streets have shown to be safer than the traditional road because the design encourages lower traffic speeds and yield between road users. A Canadian study conducted on McGill campus reports that while 82.2% of cyclists remain mounted on a shared street, the average speed of cyclists decreased by 1 kilometer per hour. This goes hand in hand with the cyclist awareness while on a shared street. As pedestrian density increased, the speed of cyclists decreased, and bicycle conflicts decreased as well. As a result of lower speed traffic in shared streets, driving becomes less attractive, creating an environment that reduces the car dependency, thus reducing pollution within shared streets. Shared streets also benefit society by stimulating local economies. On a shared street where foot traffic and alternative transportation is dominant, road users move at slower pace and are far more likely to stop and enter a store to buy a product in comparison to drivers. A report conducted by the NYC Department of Transportation showed that retail sales increased by 172% for businesses within the surrounding area of the recently installed Pearl Street, a shared street in Brooklyn, New York.
How would these streets even work? Well, these benefits are derived from the shared street's simple design, which according to the Federal Highway Administration include textured pavements that are flush with the curb. The lack of curbs indicates that pedestrians are allowed anywhere on the street, not just the far sides as a traditional street would enforce. The textured pavements typically lack markings and traffic controls that accommodate automobiles. Instead, street furniture and planters may be placed on shared streets to make the space for automobiles narrower, which encourages motor vehicles to operate at lower speeds. As shared streets lack traffic controls, right-of-way must be determined amongst the road users through a social exchange, which forces all road users to maintain awareness of one another, creating a safer road for all users. These designs not only reinforce pedestrian priority, but make foot traffic and alternative modes of transportation more attractive in such a space, reducing car dependency. Now, what are some examples? A notable shared street in Europe is the central crossroad at... Do I really have to try to pronounce this?
Yes, you have to.
Alright, fine. How about this?
De Kade in Drachten, Friesland.
In the Netherlands. At this crossroads, all traffic lights, safety islands, and road signs were eliminated, which ultimately resulted in less congestion, less accidents, smoother traffic flows, and quicker transit travel times, as reported by technical journalist Tom Vanderbilt in a 2008 article published to the Wilson Quarterly. Some cities in America have already adopted the shared street, such as Broadway between 23rd and 24th Street in Manhattan, New York. What is referred to as Flatiron Street was designed to enhance the social environment and improve pedestrian safety.
The idea of a shared street may seem initially intimidating or even unsafe to a driver, cyclist, or pedestrian with what seems like an anarchy of road sharing. However, this hesitance manifests into caution, which is essential for a safe travel experience. Vehicles on a shared street are intended to travel at 5 to 15 miles per hour, limiting the risk of a serious accident. Another factor to consider with shared streets is accessibility, especially for those who are visually impaired. This unconventional street design does pose a risk to those who require further assistance while walking, but there are still options to support disabled communities. Some solutions, as listed by the Federal Highway Association, include aligning a pedestrian route with streetscape features, using materials and texture to enhance color and contrast, audible information, as well as tactile walking surface indicators, detectable edges, and detectable changes in surface texture. Shared streets ultimately have the potential to create safer, more vibrant public spaces that prioritize pedestrians and cyclists over vehicles. So what do you think? Could shared streets transform American transportation?